Welcome to the Billups Anchorage. I'm Patrick.
I'm Carmaleta.
The Billups crew is back again, and we're here to just give you a little insight on who we are.
Yeah.
Girl, you fine.
Oh my God, thank you.
I'm just saying. It's real. That's why we got 6 kids. I'm just saying. Like,
I mean, I don't think you lying. It's fine.
But, yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I grew up in Northern Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up as an only child, went to college in Newport News, Virginia.
Come on.
Which
one though?
At Christopher Newport University.
Go Captains.
The only school I applied to.
Listen, me too.
Look at God.
This ain't about me right now. This is about you. Go ahead.
I mean, but that's fine. And then I went to Welcome Week, where the school welcomes you, and I was eating lunch. Okay, pause, side note, eating. That's what I do.
That is your love language.
It is my love language.
This is true.
So I was eating lunch with my friends because I knew people from middle school were there. And I was talking to them, and I was like, oh, my gosh, who is that? And then she was like, oh, you want to find out? I'm going to go ask. He's on my husband's hall because her husband was an RA. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm like real shy, stuff like that. And I was like, and before I could even get my thought created, she was there.
She was.
Over to where he was. And it began that way. And we conversed a little bit, writing on each other's
dry erase boards
on
the
in the
college
hall.
dorm. Yes.
And
yes.
I'd be like, your mom is on the second floor.
Yes, your mom jokes. Yep.
Yeah, that's how we connected.
That is how we connected. That
and
is real.
then I was like, he kind of fine. I kind of like him. Let me talk. So I went and talked to my girl at the time. I was like, when you walk past him, tell him that I think he's cute. And then she was like, all right, I got you. And she was foreign, and she was thug life, and walked past him.
Shout out to Luba.
We love Luba.
Shout out to Luba.
Walked past him outside going to class and was like, Carmaleta, think you cute. And it was like, and I don't know what happened after that. It's a ... for me. I let him fill that in. But yeah, your turn.
What happened after that was the confidence to really go after you. That's what happened after that.
All right.
I was like, oh, we in here now. So grew up in Northern Virginia, went to CNU to college.
Yeah.
Who your mama?
Kylisa Harris.
Listen, grandmama of the world.
That's right. Everybody grandma.
We got a conversation with her here. And if you're a part of the family, be able to access that. That's a great conversation, so don't miss that.
It's pretty good.
Who your daddy?
Doug Williams.
The what?
The Doug Williams.
I'm acting surprised like I didn't know that. But
Douglas Lee Williams of Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
Who played, one of the teams he played for were the Washington Redskins.
Yes.
And he played so good, and he kept going, and he kept pushing, being all he could be. And he walked away with a win and an MVP title.
What's that?
The first black quarterback to
what?
win an MVP of a Super Bowl.
Cool. We know him as Papa, Grandpa, and Pops. So yeah.
So you are all up in my business. Can you tell us about you?
Patrick Billups from Matthews County, Virginia, down here in the country, but met this girl, fine girl at CNU. She kind of told you that story. My dad is Marius Skipper Billups Jr. Everybody knows him as Skipper. He is 91 years old. He turns those numbers around, so he really 19, so he like a teenager. But the fact of the matter is God has truly blessed him because he is still driving. He is still on his own. Yes. He still cuts his own grass. He lives like a teenager for real, though.
Yeah.
My mom, Sylvia Geraldine Billups, also known as Bob Boots. She passed when I was 7 years old, and so from breast cancer, so to all the breast cancer survivors, those battling, those who have loved ones that have, didn't make it through the process the way we wanted them to, but they've gone on to glory. Listen, I feel you. We're connected, and those who fight and keep fighting. But yeah, so that's my mama. I got two older sisters that are 15 and 16 years older than me. They are like parents sometimes, I will say. But we walk the line. I got 6 kids now. I'm grown. So
you grown.
Don't tell them I said that. So yeah, so in my world, as far as professionally, I'm a pastor. We pastor together 2 campuses, one in Matthews, one in Richmond. And so Relevant Life Church, formerly known as Relevant Church, and an Abundant Life Christian Center International in Hopewell, Virginia. And so now we're Relevant Life Church, which is exciting. All right. So in my world, in education, I'm an administrator and pastoring, of course, both of the campuses. And so we're excited. I like to say Mr. Pastor Dad because it covers it all.
That's true, because you're Mr. Billups.
Yeah.
You're Pastor P.
True that.
And you're Daddy.
This is true. I will say, baby girls look at you different than baby boys. Just saying, when you're dad.
I'm sure.
I
think we've just seen the tips of that iceberg.
Yeah. Support the Patreon because we're gonna need it. Bless the Lord. All right, so there's a question from the audience of, did we ever break up? You want to take that?
I don't know. You want me to?
Go for it.
All right. Fire. Okay, so we did. I don't know if it's considered a breakup. You did tell me you ain't want to be you didn't know if you wanted to be married to me anymore.
This did happen.
I took my ring off because I was mad. And then you brought up the possibility of being with someone else, and I said, and I said, it don't matter. I'm be in the back seat. You ain't leaving me.
And then actually, from what I remember, because what happened was we were traveling from, school to go to church, and me being more local to the campus, the church was in my hometown. And so I remember us traveling over, and you joined the church while we were dating.
I did.
Yeah, and I was like, whoa.
Man, I was
like,
wild.
yo. So when it came time for us, we were talking about when I was like, I don't know if I want to be married, and we was going to break up and that kind of thing. We were traveling to church together. And she was like, I ain't about to be sitting in the back with some other girl in the front seat while we going to church. That just ain't happening. You ain't leaving me.
No, that's right. Because I'd be sitting on her lap.
But yeah, it did happen. Obviously, the story tells itself with the fact that we're still together, rocking together for 14 years, married, happily married.
I know, right? Yeah. So fun.
Come on.
You're an interesting individual. You can stand and be with me. Happily. So, a question from the audience. I thought it was interesting. What is the funniest memory that we have with each other?
Funniest memory.
I mean, it's hard for me to think about because, I'm hilarious. So, I'm always funny. So, I'm not sure.
I remember when I found out, when we were there together, when we found out we were having triplets, and I was holding Christian, and some people ask all the time, like, what was that like?
They assume that you freaked out.
Yeah, and I just laughed uncontrollably. You can't make this stuff up. So, I remember that being hysterical. Funniest memory.
It's really hard to think about. And I'm not trying to joke. I'm just really funny. And so we always laugh. So it's hard to point it out. So it's hard to think about the funniest moments or whatever because I'm hilarious. But what is the silliest thing that we have ever argued about?
Silliest thing that we've ever argued about. I mean, we never can decide on where we want to eat, though we end up landing somewhere.
Usually the same place.
For me, it's probably being late because I like to be 15 minutes early if there's somebody waiting on us. But that's not always shared.
I'm not built that way.
This is true.
In my mind, I am.
Yeah, I think most of mine is us leaving late.
And most of mine is, you're not talking to me.
This true. Tis true. I'm definitely one that's like, I need some time to chill. I need to be by myself for a minute. I'm an introvert, so I recharge being by myself.
I feel like that should only last 5 minutes.
I need a little bit more than 5 minutes, even on the Tesla Supercharge.
10.
But no, on the real though, I remember, actually you bring that up. That is real because before like learning each other, and particularly when we took the self-survey flight assessment deal where we saw like ourselves on paper, that's when it really like changed, where it was like, you need to talk to people and I need time to recharge. Like it's not just a preference, like we need
it's
those
a
things.
Need.
Yeah. And I think understanding each other after that was huge.
So like, would you say taking assessments like that are very necessary in relationship to help your relationship be successful, strong, and long lasting?
110%. I would think so for those who are logical, specifically. Like I think me being a logical kind of like black and white kind of guy, like to see it on paper was great for me. But I mean, you can speak to it as from the flight assessment called flight attendant, high feelings. So from that perspective, how did it go for you?
No, I thought it was good because it helped me understand where I was and what I was supercharged in, and it helped me also understand with what I'm not supercharged in, instead of trying to like go on a limb and operate in something I'm not really good at operating in.
Yeah.
And then getting upset with myself and making other people upset. Yeah. Because I think I can do this. Kind of like me telling someone I'm going to be 15 minutes early.
Well, you already know.
Right. But it's the same thing with the assessment.
It's true. But the good thing is now it's like we got 6 kids. So we got 6 kids.
The whole time. I mean, every time. So can you give any example, if you can think about it, any hard times that we've had in the marriage?
One of the things that I think, like, as we look back, I think things that we considered challenges then, looking back at it, we're like, they wouldn't be challenges today.
Right.
And so it's kind of hard for me to think about it for a second when you first asked that question. But I think about, like, I remember I found a notebook that had like rent, $400, electricity, like $75, and I remember when we were stressed. Look, I was stressed.
No, Boys and Girls Club had me stressed.
Boys and Girls Club. I was working at City of Newport News then, traveling to Newport News, which you may not understand depending on where you're watching this. So it's like 45 minutes to an hour away, and I was spending more money getting back and forth than I was making actually there. And so I just remember us trying to like make it work. We were living in a duplex. It was just me and you. Then we had the nerve to get a dog.
Right? I don't know who told me that was a good idea.
we were struggling with just me and you. And we had a support system. And I think sometimes when you talk about you struggling, people are like, oh, you ain't got no support system. Yeah, it was great. I could have called my dad asking for money. We call your parents. But it was like, we ain't doing that.
Facts.
I think for me it was a pride thing, but it was like, hey, whatever, we're gonna struggle in silence, and so we struggled in that sense, and learning each other. That first year of marriage though,
it was rough.
Come on, that first year of marriage. Like,
I mean, I try to tell people when they're like thinking about getting married, I'm like, are you sure?
That first year though is no joke.
Year one.
Oh, so can we circle back to something though? Remember, remember that time when on April Fools, and so we were
Oh God.
in the church at the time, and we were first year of marriage, whatever, and we put on April Fools, and we like something that echoed the essence that we had broke up,
We childish, y'all.
and we
Childish.
we had put up a post. I was like, don't nobody care about you until whatever, some subliminal post, and then Carmaleta posted some like motivational post, and people were like going through our social media and all that kind of stuff, and they thought we had broke up. And then we got in trouble from the pastors at the time, and it was like, take that lie off of Facebook. Take that lie off of it was a whole thing. But anyway, that was pretty funny.
That actually was, I think, the funniest. I think that was
pretty
the
funny.
funniest.
That's funny. But back to the first year though.
Oh yeah, I mean that wasn't funny.
Yeah. Oh, and we were arguing about like dinner. Yeah, like who was gonna make dinner, why wasn't dinner made, but like all those kind of things.
It was so bad.
Yes. Yeah. Remember when like Hamburger Helper, like we were Hamburger Helper. Listen, shout out to Hamburger Helper for real though.
Absolutely. All day.
And for me, like it was like it's two of us in the house. So I would make Hamburger Helper in the pan, and then I would just like split it down the middle and be like, yo, this your half? This my half.
Who does that?
And apparently everybody doesn't do that. So it was like, I was like, man, it's only two of us, so let's just split. Like, you eat what you want, I eat what I, she was like, why are you giving me half the pan? I was like, I just thought that it's two of us. We split anyway. Anywho.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, that's two people becoming one is no joke.
It's really not.
No joke.
I wish people would take that seriously.
That is no joke. I mean, to small things like, when do you wash the dishes? Do you wait till the end of the day? Do you wash them one at a time? Like,
and you
all
think
these
it
different
shouldn't
things.
matter, but it does.
It does matter. It does.
But to some people, it may not.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to find out if it matters to who you have said I do to.
Yeah, true that. And sometimes you don't find out to the other side.
Facts.
Yep. So
like, who wants to break up over dirty dishes?
This is real. But it does happen.
It does.
It almost happened to us.
Also, yes.
True that.
But I'm not going.
I'm not going.
I was going to go Effie, but that's fine.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, so, like, you mentioned that dog. You mentioned the dog. Do you remember the dog?
That was Dazzle.
The dog's
dog
name
was
is
Dazzle.
Dazzle.
Yeah. What
She died.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like,
We took her to your father.
yeah, I know.
And he was like your father's BF. She was your father's BFF.
Let's back up, because the process of this was we were in the duplex, and then we were out of the duplex, and then we were back at my dad's house.
Right.
And the dog came with us.
Yes.
And so then
it adopted your father.
Okay, that's what happened. I was trying to remember. I was like, what?
Yeah. Dazzle,
Dazzle became
adopted him.
So my dad and Dazzle became friends, and Dazzle spent the rest of her days at my dad's house because we came together, but we left separate.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the parents that taking care of your kids' dog. Just saying. Thank you for being with us here at the Billups Anchorage. That was a quick intro into us. We're going to dive into the kids next. Thank you for being a part of the family.
Thank you. Bye.